Hey guys, how you going? Okay, I've had to order a new arm for my microphone. I don't know if you noticed during the last video there was a lot of interference with the microphone. So I've got one on the way. It's a pain in the bum. Anyway, let's get on with this. Rocket Man said, has Paul Keating's daughter been questioned why she was seen leaving Epstein's apartment? Rocket Man said, in 2019, a video was released of the daughter of Paul Keating, Catherine, leaving Jeffrey Epstein's apartment. Let's have a listen.
Catherine Keating, the daughter of Paul Keating, has many ties to Jeffrey Epstein. She once interviewed Jeffrey Epstein's longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. She has romantic links to some of Epstein's associates and has socialised in similar circles. This video that shows the woman that looks similar to Catherine Keating comes from 2010, though. It was filmed in New York and only released last week, so that is where there is some difficulty. There's been no response from anyone involved in the case on the identity of that woman. As this all plays out, though, the British Royal Prince Andrew, who is, again, an associate of Catherine Keating's and Jeffrey Epstein, and in that video, has given indications to press in the UK that he may be available and willing to talk to investigators. This all comes as investigations into the associates of Mr. Epstein continue, even despite Mr. Epstein's death. Catherine Keating, the daughter...
Okay. And there she is there with Ghislaine Maxwell and others. Yeah, I don't really doubt it's her. What was going on there? Okay, in 2018, in a documentary, Candy Girl Fiona Barnett said she witnessed a former Prime Minister doing something to a child. That's not good. And by the way, every person mentioned in this video is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Okay, Craig Kelly said farting cow climate scare debunked. Climate alarmists and global control freaks demand that beef cattle and dairy cows herds be culled, and instead we eat bugs and drink soy because the farts and burps of the cows increase methane emissions, which cause bad weather. That theory is now being debunked by the science. There's no need to cull the herds. We don't need Bill Gates' artificial meat. We don't need to eat the bugs. But that's only if you follow the science. For as we know, climate alarmism is a superstitious virtue signalling cult that's all about money, power and control. As Joe Nova explains, wouldn't you know it, 150 nations signed the Global Methane Pledge without even bothering to check if the methane was man-made. Methane, the second most hated greenhouse gas, spiked to record historic levels in the last few years, over 1,900 parts per billion. In 2019, even the WEF scientists admitted they couldn't explain the baffling rise, and then in 2020, the world of methane went into the twilight zone. We shut down the modern world due to the pandemic, and methane levels rose even faster. It seems many have been blaming fossil fuels for the global surge in emissions, but forgot to check the C13 isotopes. Somehow we spend millions on breathalyzing cows, measuring their burps and feeding them seaweed, but didn't think to do the basic chemistry. How could that be, you might wonder? 158 nations agreed to cut methane emissions by 30% by 2030, but none of them audited the science, even though very strange things were happening. The point was obviously the pledge, the junkets, the captive industries and subsidies, anything but the science. Methane from fossil fuels has a higher carbon-13 ratio, but even though fossil fuel was rising, the carbon-13 levels of atmospheric methane was rolling down a hill. Indeed, this new study shows it's been falling for 17 years. It's not like this snuck up on us. Any inquiring mind should have seen this coming a decade ago. The lab has been recording C13 and methane since 1998 and gets air samples from 22 sites around the world every week or two. They go on to mention that in a warmer world, bacteria have a higher metabolism, which means they're happier and work faster. Thus, like CO2, if the world warms for any reason at all, methane will rise, and there is nothing we can do about it. The one last straw they could clutch is that maybe the microbes were man-made. It remains unclear whether the increased microbial emissions came from natural sources like wetlands or human-driven sources such as landfills and agriculture. The team plans to delve deeper to identify the exact source of the methane. As if somehow there was a surge in landfill, rice paddies or cows in the last few years that no one had noticed. This is a pretty big deal. Methane has supposedly caused about 30% of our current temperature rise, says the broken climate models, yet 90% of that recent rise was microbes. It's yet another slice of the climate we aren't controlling, but we're still designing burgers with mealworms and bacon from fungus in the hope of reducing methane emissions and controlling the weather. Then it turns out every swamp and square metre of soil is working against us. Methane concentrations in the air have almost tripled since the 1700s, but that was the Little Ice Age. It's easy to believe that as the world warmed up, the planet's wetlands and soil microbes have just been returning to normal business for the last 300 years. We skeptics told the experts long ago it was mostly not man-made. Tom Quirk showed the methane rises and falls in time with El Niños and was thus largely a natural phenomenon. There you go. No idea. They have no idea. They're not following science. They're following the money. Kobe Thatcher said, nice to see our one and only national flag flying over Sydney Harbour. Aussie Cossacks said a Royal Australian Air Force Black Hawk helicopter was spotted flying the Australian flag over Sydney Harbour today because no one else will, assumingly in honour of King Charles. Why don't they just stick one on the Sydney Harbour Bridge like we used to have? Now they've got to fly it, costing even more money. How much does it take? How much does it cost to put that Black Hawk up there? I don't know. Elon Musk said our system is broken. And Wokeness said Argentina counted 99.9% of the votes in 6 hours. Maricopa County needs 10 days. My goodness. That's ridiculous. And Marty up north, unacceptable fact checked. Take this with a grain of salt. I don't know. Trudeau stepping down tomorrow? I don't know. Hopefully. I hope for Canada's sake that he is. Campbell Newman said, so here it is. Number 1, 20 years ago we had affordable, reliable electricity from coal-fired power. 2, since then a bunch of zealots, often without engineering degrees, have taken over the system and pushed their renewable agenda. 3, the price of electricity has gone through the roof. 4, meantime they keep telling us we just need to add more renewables to bring prices down. They lied. Well, today it's official. The AEMO can't guarantee cheaper prices. It's time to tell Australians the truth. We're paying some of the highest power bills in the world because of the upending of a system that worked. Senator Matt Canavan said our energy regulator has no answer for why we're paying 3 times higher power prices than the US. It is a national disgrace that with very similar energy resources, the US is now taking our manufacturing jobs because we have shut coal and gas plants and we will not build nuclear power. Let's have a listen. What's this?
How have we allowed a situation to emerge where with very similar energy resources to the United States, we now have power prices 3 times higher than they do? Has anyone got an answer for that?
I'm not sure I can provide an answer to that today.
Yeah. Yeah, someone should be looking at it for sure. If we're doing inquiry energy planning, someone should be able to answer that question. How have we allowed a situation...
There you go. Australia Calling Force said maybe you should ask Angus Taylor who took the bribe from CCP Eddie Yao. Turnbull is also on the CCP payroll. You know that, Senator. So a CCP PM with an energy minister who's also on the CCP payroll, and wham, high electricity, which is destroying Australia. Bowen is copying the blame. Yeah, well, he's part of it, mate. Yeah, the energy regulators have no idea. Okay. Pepe Deluxe said if they declare Kamala the winner, don't react. The military is the only way. Too big to rig. Just a warning. The White Rabbit podcast said I got chatting with the well-heeled owner of a charity store in Melbourne yesterday. and within 30 seconds realised the power the mainstream media still has over the lives and opinions of the masses. She brought up the devastation in North Carolina and how she had, as a business owner, arranged a local meeting to help fund the relief efforts of FEMA. She told me that FEMA were sifting through dead bodies, that FEMA were feeding the hungry, that FEMA were using all the resources at their disposal to help the residents. I mentioned that FEMA were in fact the last on the scene, did a lot of sitting around, then claimed that all of their resources were tied up at the border, and that in fact the first on scene in some areas were YouTubers trying to tell their stories and private citizens using mules, drones and their own helicopters to help. She said with complete conviction, as if sorry for me because I'm so misinformed, "Oh no, see, that was all put to rest in the New York Times. I mean, it's the New York Times. I'm afraid that was all misinformation. It's so tragic how lovely people like yourself can be exposed to these lies. I would fume." I could see it in her eyes that she wouldn't believe even video evidence accounts about how abandoned those people were by the government. And so I didn't even try. If a publication like the New York Times tells them what to believe, they believe it, and it's for two primary reasons. It's lazier and easier to allow others to tell you what to believe, and because it makes you feel better about getting on with your life. I find this shocking. Yeah, it really is. It's easier for people just to listen to the mainstream media and not have any thought for themselves. Okay, Peter Sweden said, breaking, the Austrian president has broken with custom and has not appointed the right-wing Freedom Party to form a government despite winning the election. So the right wing won the election but won't be allowed to try and form a government. That's insane. Bill Holt said Michael Keaton just bit the dust. No, he didn't pass away. He chose to speak out against Donald Trump and his supporters, so now I won't patronise his work going forward. Like with Streisand, like with John Legend, Cher, Madonna, De Niro, Mark Hamill, Jack Black, Alec Baldwin, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Whoopi Goldberg and a whole bunch of others. Because they all keep choosing to insult and demean Donald Trump and his fans who want him for president. Their fans, sorry. These a-holes need to understand that you can have love and be proud of your party without trashing mine. Because for the most part, half their audience is us. So why bite the hand that feeds you just to get a quick DNC paycheck while you languish in failure and obscurity? None of these people will ever get my money again, and before you say I'm just one person, you're right, I am. But there are at least 85 million people like me, and that number grows every day. So weigh your DNC perks against the revenue you lose by telling your fans to go F themselves. You may keep working, but none of us will pay you to spit in our faces once you tell us you hate us. There you go. Very interesting. Okay, Mads Palsvig said, listen very carefully to Gaddafi's words. Americans are good people. They have no aggressions against us and like us as we like them. They must know I don't hate them. I love them. I hear it's a complex society inside. Many Americans don't know about the outside world. The majority have no concern and no information about other people. They could not even find Africa on a map. I think Americans are good, but America will be taken over and destroyed from the inside by the Zionist lobby. The Americans do not see this. They are getting decadent. Zionists will use this to destroy them. Muammar Gaddafi. Yeah. Wasn't that where Hillary said, we came, we saw, he died? Okay, Old Soldier said, should there be a facility for the citizens to sack an MP? And I say yes. We should have the ability to sack any of our MPs that aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Like this one. Kate said, for 886 days we've had to listen to Chris Bowen claiming that renewable energy is the cheapest form of energy, and as a result, he will lower the cost of our energy bills. Now, AEMO, under oath in Senate estimates, has admitted they can't guarantee cheaper power prices. That is, despite the head of the AEMO making that very claim on numerous occasions in the media. Not numerous accusations, numerous occasions, I believe. That's, what do you call it? Spell check for you. Okay, the opinionated black woman auntie said, well, this kind of statement kind of might get Liddy into a bit of poo-poo lol. Perjury and other offences. Under Section 25 of the Oaths Act of 1900, a person who knowingly makes a false statutory declaration commits an offence of perjury punishable by 5 years imprisonment. SBS said Independent Senator Lydia Thorpe says she swore allegiance to the Queen's heirs rather than the Queen's heirs when she was sworn into Parliament in 2022. It comes after she said, "You are not my king," to King Charles III during his visit to Canberra. Oh, I believe people in the US didn't Obama do something similar? I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he might have, or a few of them have. Elon Musk said this violates US criminal statutes against foreign interference in elections. We're going after CCDH and their donors. Ex-Daily News said News Centre for Countering Digital Hate revealed their primary goal is to kill Musk's Twitter by targeting advertising and leveraging EU regulations. Annual priorities: kill Musk's Twitter advertising focus, trigger EU and UK regulatory action, progress towards change in USA and support for Star, whatever that means. Tony Abbott, who was one of our prime ministers, said Australia is one of the world's truly greatest stories, a land long hidden from the outside world, then chosen as a dumping ground, where people, white and black, rejected and despised, within scarcely a century had built the most free, the most fair and the most prosperous society on earth. And I actually agree with that. Oh, no. I'll get back to it. Okay, so we're back to where we were. Matt Wallace said the Diddy tape they have on Eminem is so graphic that he would cut off his own hand if it was requested of him. Really? I guess we'll find out. Okay, the Vigilant Fox said 10 shocking stories the media buried today. Number 10, British advisors to Kamala Harris have been caught plotting to kill Musk's Twitter, and now Elon Musk is saying this is war. This damning discovery was uncovered by Paul D. Thacker and Matt Taibbi. The report reveals that it's England, not Russia, involved in real election interference. It started with leaked documents from the Centre for Countering Digital Hate, CCDH, a group linked to the British Labour Party showing a plan to take down X. Their annual priority mission is kill Musk's Twitter. Alongside that is advertising focus, which means a harassment and shaming campaign to scare away advertisers and drain X's revenue. Morgan McSweeney, a key figure behind British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's rise to power, is leading this effort. The report suggests that he's aiming to replicate the success he had in the UK, using narrative control, political influence and censorship to shape the outcome of the 2024 election. The leaks also show that CCDH is pushing for new laws to control misinformation, all under the guise of combating disinformation while actually trying to manipulate the US legislation. This report is damning, and it shows how much of the world's most powerful people hate free speech and the open flow of ideas. Anyone claiming to combat misinformation at this point is clearly your enemy, not your friend. And Bill Maher just got dinged by one of Donald Trump's most ardent supporters. He's being sued for a whopping $150 million by Laura Loomer for saying on national TV that she slept with the 45th president. According to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, Loomer named Maher and HBO as defendants in a suit filed in Sumter County, Florida, claiming that the Real Time with Bill Maher host besmirched her good name on his HBO show. Loomer, a conservative investigative journalist and close Trump ally, says Maher made the false, malicious and defamatory statements about her during his real-time broadcast on September the 13th, 2024. In the episode, Maher told his viewers, "I think maybe Laura Loomer's in an arranged relationship to affect the election because she's very close to Trump. She's 31, looks his type. We did an editorial here a few years ago. It was basically who's Trump effing? Because I said, it's not nobody. He's been a dog for too long and it's not Melania. I think we may have our answer this week. I think it might be Laura Loomer." That's what he said. Number 8, Elon Musk breaks his silence on abortion. He says if the baby is viable outside the womb, then it's murder. He called out the fear-mongering that tells women that getting pregnant is one of the worst things that can happen to them in life. In reality, Musk says that having children is a blessing and it will make you happier than anything else in your life ever, and it will. And you know what a lot of young people are now thinking? They think that there's over 50% chance if you get pregnant, you're going to die. That's what they're teaching them. This is what they're teaching people, and this is ridiculous. Okay, number seven, judges allow overseas voter to cast ballots in swing states despite never living there. Number 6, the WHO chief doubles down on free speech crackdown. Number 5, Jon Stewart shut down Tim Walz after he says Taylor Swift and Dick Cheney in the same breath. CNN drops brutal fact check on Tim Walz, claiming that Trump lost more manufacturing jobs than any president in American history. Daniel Dale responded to Walz's comments saying, if you're going to say something is simply factual, it should be factual. This is not true. Number 3, Kamala's plagiarism scandal takes a shocking turn. What happened there? I'll have a little look. Oh. Okay, what have we got? Earlier this month, Kamala Harris was busted plagiarising sections of her book on crime after Austrian plagiarism hunter Dr. Stefan Weber found numerous sections lifted from Wikipedia, news reports and other sources. Now it's been revealed that Harris also plagiarised pages of congressional testimony from a Republican colleague in 2007. In 2012, she plagiarised a fictionalised story about sex trafficking and presented it as a real case, according to Free Beacon journalist Aaron Sabarium. She also lifted roughly 80% of a testimony before the House Judiciary Committee in support of a student loan repayment program. Sabarium continues, the passages are some of the most striking cases in which Harris, a former senator and state AG, appears to have plagiarised in her capacity as a government official, lifting large chunks of text from other attorneys, and in one case from Wikipedia without attribution. The examples have not been previously reported and range from paragraphs to pages. Several appear in reports that Harris published as California Attorney General, a post she held for 6 years and made a centrepiece of her campaign. With just 2 weeks to go until Election Day, the new examples could undercut key parts of the Harris campaign's message as it navigates a tightening race. Harris has sought to portray herself as the candidate of honesty and integrity, in part by touting her record of prosecuting child sex crimes. But as California Attorney General, she didn't just copy boilerplate language without attribution. In one of the lengthier passages reviewed by Free Beacon, she lifted a fictionalised story about a victim of sex trafficking and presented it as a real case. And the comparisons are there. We're sure the New York Times will attack the messenger and downplay like they did the first time. So there you go. She's plagiarising all over the place. Elizabeth Warren did that too, didn't she? Oh, a lot of them have. The Vigilant Fox said number 2 voters in Tarrant County, Texas are reporting that voting machines are flipping their votes from Trump to Kamala. Reports were that people who selected Trump on the screen were seeing the Harris on the printed ballot. This is according to the Tarrant GOP chair. Okay, I don't know. Are you allowed to take phones in with you when you vote? Because I'd be actually taking pictures or video. Even if you don't talk, just show what's going on. And number 1, Donald Trump will appear on Joe Rogan's show, which is set to be filmed in Austin, Texas on Friday, according to Politico. During a previous episode, Rogan admitted that life was better off under Trump. And a bonus one. Something stinks about the upcoming election and Jesse Waters can smell it. Bonus number 2. Trump reveals who's really running the country. Who, Obama? It's not Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. During a wide-ranging 40-minute interview with the Blazer's Glenn Beck on Tuesday, Trump explained that America is actually secretly being managed by a shadowy group of unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. I think it's actually a committee of people, and they might not even know who the committee is. They may not even know themselves, Trump said. It's a group of people that are in different levels of DC, and they surround a man, Biden, that was not the most capable person. By the way, he never was, but certainly not anymore, he added. Trump went on to point out that the bureaucracy which placed a palace coup to replace Biden chose Kamala Harris because she's a believer in Marxism. She's worse than he is. And the difference, she is a believer. She was a believer for a long time. She was a Marxist for a long time. She's further left than Bernie Sanders. You've heard that many times, Trump says. Trump went on to inform Beck that irrespective of the opponent he's running against, the cabal would manipulate the chosen candidate to retain their grip on power. It's a nasty government. It's a mean government. They weaponise governments, said Trump. It's interesting because the people aren't very smart, the people on top, but the people that surround them are smart and they're vicious. The alarming lack of clarity of who actually runs the country is paramount given the series of crises plaguing the world, whether it be the Ukraine conflict, the Israel-Gaza war, persistent inflation, the wide-open southern border, soaring crime and many other issues. And how to get fluoride out of your water. How do you do that? When Grand Rapids, Michigan became the first city to add fluoride to its water supply in 1945, it was hailed as a major public health innovation aimed at preventing cavities. Many other cities quickly followed suit, and water fluoridation became widespread practice nationwide. Today, with fluoride easily accessible in toothpaste and mouthwash, its added value in drinking water has been called into question. A review from the Cochrane database of systematic reviews found that fluoridated water reduces tooth decay by only a tiny amount, about a quarter of a tooth's surface, raising doubts about its effectiveness. For decades, fluoride has quietly flown through our taps, touted as a safeguard for dental health. But what if this commonly accepted chemical, long promoted for its benefits to teeth, is something you prefer to avoid? Growing evidence suggests fluoride may pose risks beyond our teeth, affecting thyroid health, cognitive development, and more. This concern has led many to seek ways to eliminate fluoride from their lives. Whether you're wary of long-term exposure or simply want cleaner water for your family, there are solutions. From advanced filtration systems to simple DIY methods, here's how to remove fluoride from your water in your life. Push to end fluoridation. A February systematic review and dose-response meta-analysis published in Environmental Research linked excessive fluoride exposure to thyroid issues, and a 2016 National Toxicology report noted an association between fluoride and lowered IQ in children. In September, a federal judge ordered the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, to take regulatory action on fluoride, citing evidence that community water fluoridation at 0.7 milligrams per litre may pose an unreasonable risk to children's health under the Toxic Substance Control Act. The court did not mandate specific steps, leaving the EPA obliged to take regulatory action in response. Pharmacist and thyroid specialist Isabella Wentz echoes these concerns, telling the Epoch Times, reducing fluoride exposure is crucial for supporting overall health and well-being. How to remove fluoride from your water at home. As the debate over fluoridation in public water system continues, many households opt to address the issue themselves. Below are some of the most popular methods for reducing fluoride exposure at home. Reverse osmosis systems. Reverse osmosis systems are highly effective at removing fluoride and other contaminants from drinking water, filtering out up to 84% through a semi-permeable membrane. This purification process forces water through the membrane, leaving impurities behind. Fluoride expert Richard Sauerheber told the Epoch Times that modern RO systems can operate for years with minimal maintenance while effectively reducing fluoride levels. However, RO systems have certain drawbacks, according to Tom Volanchak, author of Open Trap Drink Poison. They can produce up to 16 gallons of wastewater for every gallon of filtered water and remove beneficial minerals which may need to be reintroduced for taste and health benefits. Despite these challenges, points of use RO systems remain an affordable and attractive option. Typically costing under $1,000, they are especially beneficial in areas with higher fluoride contamination. For those seeking more comprehensive filtration, Whole house reverse osmosis systems can cost upwards of $15,000. Activated alumina filters, such as Berkeley's PF2, can remove up to 97% of fluoride and provide a convenient countertop solution that requires no plumbing or electricity. These filters use aluminium oxide to capture fluoride molecules on their porous surface. However, there are concerns that small amounts of aluminium may be released into the water, and in alkaline conditions, these filters may leach harmful aluminium fluoride complexes. Filters must be replaced regularly, typically after 1,000 gallons, and some users report a decline in water quality over time. Okay, bone char filters is another distinct option for filtering fluoride from drinking water made from crushed animal bones heated in a kiln under low oxygen conditions. Bone char naturally absorbs fluoride and other contaminants, such as heavy metals, making it an effective filtration tool. Bone char's ability to trap fluoride raises an important question. If animal bones can absorb fluoride so effectively, what impact might fluoride have on the bones of our bodies? Research shows 99% of fluoride lives in bones. A 2023 study in JAAOS Global Research and Reviews found that children living in areas with higher fluoride levels in drinking water experience more bone fractures, especially in the arm and elbow. Bone char filters work through absorption, where fluoride molecules adhere to the surface of the char as water passes through. However, its filtration lifespan can be unpredictable, varying with fluoride levels, and requires regular monitoring and replacement. Sohiba cautions that the quality of bone char varies by source. Char from Scotland is known to be highly effective but harder to find, while Brazilian char may be less reliable. This variably makes reverse osmosis a more consistent option for most households. An ion exchange system uses resin beads to replace fluoride ions with less harmful ions such as chloride, effectively lowering fluoride levels. However, these systems come with environmental concerns. Plastic resin beads contribute to plastic waste, and aging filters may release microplastics or concentrated fluoride. Frequent filter replacements make ion exchange systems expensive, particularly in regions with high fluoride levels. Additionally, the environmental impact raises sustainability concerns for many households, and said Volenchak. Limitations of certified filtration products. Volenchak points out that not all filtration systems perform as effectively as their certifications suggest. Organisations like Water Quality Associations and the National Sanitation Foundation certified filters based on their ability to remove specific percentage of contaminants. However, these certifications do not guarantee the filtered water is entirely safe to drink. Volenchak warns that even filters claiming to remove 98% of contaminant water may be insufficient if the contaminant levels in the source water are particularly high. In such cases, harmful amounts of fluoride can remain after filtration. This highlights the importance of regularly testing your water's contamination levels to ensure your filtration method is effective. Distillation, a DIY approach. For those seeking a more hands-on method to remove fluoride, distillation provides a reliable, though labour-intensive solution. This process involves boiling water and collecting the steam, which is then condensed back into liquid, leaving fluoride and other contaminants behind. However, distilled water lacks minerals, which many people find results in a flat or bland taste. Sohiba notes distillation works well but requires labour on the part of the consumer, and is essential to remineralise the water to avoid drinking overly purified, mineral-deficient water. While distillation is highly effective at removing fluoride, it requires time, equipment, and the additional step of reintroducing essential minerals. For those looking for a more convenient solution, water distillation machines offer an automated approach to fluoride removal. Distillation units are available in various sizes, from compact countertop models to larger units suited for higher volume needs. Although they eliminate the manual labour of traditional distillation, these machines produce mineral-free water requiring remineralisation for optimum taste and health. Additionally, they can be energy intensive, which may increase utility costs over time. 5 ways to reduce your fluoride burden. Reducing fluoride exposure is important for maintaining health if you already have been exposed or live in an area with high fluoride levels. There are steps you can take to mitigate its effects. While no supplements can directly neutralise fluoride, certain nutrients and lifestyle changes may support the body's natural detoxification process. Be mindful of fluoride in foods and products. Beyond water, fluoride can sneak into your daily routine through common foods, beverages and products. Wentz highlights that black and red teas and certain medications are hidden sources of fluoride because tea plants absorb fluoride from the soil. Additionally, foods processed with fluoridated water and certain pesticides can introduce fluoride into your diet, further contributing to overall exposure. Swapping out conventional dental hygiene products for ones made without fluoride, Wentz says, is another simple way to lower your fluoride intake. Reading labels and choosing fluoride-free options wherever possible can make a huge difference. While the American Dental Association advises most people, children, adolescents and adults to brush twice a day with fluoride toothpaste for optimum dental health, many holistic dentists remain skeptical. They argue there's not enough long-term evidence to fully support the safety of fluoride use in dental care. Boost your nutrient intake. Boosting nutrient intake can help counter fluoride's effects on the body, particularly by supporting thyroid function. Fluoride competes with iodine, which is essential for hormone production. Ensuring adequate iodine intake from sources like seaweed, fish, dairy, or iodized salt helps protect the thyroid. However, Wentz cautions against high-dose iodine supplements, especially for those with thyroid disorders like Hashimoto's, as it may worsen the condition. Calcium is another crucial nutrient. It can bind with fluoride and reduce bone absorption. Magnesium helps balance fluoride and calcium, while antioxidants like vitamin C and selenium protect against the oxidative stress caused by fluoride exposure. Wentz recommends getting these essential nutrients primarily through a whole food diet. However, supplements can provide an effective alternative for those with deficiencies. Support your liver. The liver plays a crucial role in detoxification and keeping it healthy, can help your body flush out harmful toxins, including fluoride. Taking liver supportive supplements in a safe way to support your body's detoxification from fluoride, Wentz explains. A 2022 study found that adolescents exposed to high fluoride levels in drinking water experienced a significant increase in fluoride excretion after supplementation with wild plants like purslane and Qlite senezo. This suggests that these nutrient-rich plants may help the body detox from fluoride exposure, showing potential as a natural remedy for those affected by contaminated water. Incorporating liver-friendly foods into your diet, such as lemons, beets, cruciferous vegetables, cilantro, and turmeric, can boost your liver's ability to process and remove toxins as well, says Wentz. Use specific supplements. For those concerned about past fluoride exposure, certain supplements may help mitigate its effects. According to Wentz, taurine, an amino acid, has been shown to reverse kidney and thyroid damage in animals exposed to fluoride. GABA, gamma aminobutyric, that one there, acid, may also assist by improving thyroid hormone levels, and resveratrol, a potent antioxidant, has demonstrated protective effects in studies, preventing fluoride toxicity and restoring thyroid function in animals. Adopt detox-friendly habits. Simple lifestyle changes can help your body's natural detox pathways function more efficiently. Wentz recommends sweating, especially in an infrared sauna, as one of her favourite ways to support detoxification. Mine is regular exercise. The next one. Regular exercise, dry skin brushing, and lymphatic massage are also excellent ways to boost circulation and help the body eliminate toxins through the skin and lymphatic system, says Wentz. I don't even know what dry brushing the skin is. Dry skin brushing. I don't know what that is. By incorporating these steps, I'm going to have to look it up. From avoiding hidden sources of fluoride to boosting detoxification with target nutrients and healthy habits, you can take control of your fluoride exposure and support your overall well-being. Okay, and I can't go into any more of that. Okay, I've got to go back a few ways. There we go. Okay. Thriller the gorilla was replying to Matt Wallace. What did Matt Wallace say? Oh, the accusations against Mark Cuban are so preposterous that I thought for sure they were fake. Now, multiple credible sources appearing to be confirming the validity. What happened to Mark Cuban? Okay, hang on one sec. Let me find out. I don't know, but so far I found that a man who's still proud of his Ponzi scheme is lecturing us about paying people. It was amazing, says Mark Cuban, of his 80s Ponzi scheme that got him through college, made sure his friends got all their money back. Harris, tax unrealised investment gains. Cuban, not going to happen. Mark, glad you think Harris never lies. So cute of you. Carol Ann said Mark Cuban must be on the Epstein client list or he thinks he's going to make a lot of money by being in administration. Wait, no, Mark's just still bitter that Trump figured him out years ago and Trump wouldn't approve of his daughter dating Mark. Mark, the poor example you set in pursuing political tribal warfare far outweighs anything redeemable you think you may have done in business. He's an idiot, thinks he's a genius. This person says he's a pig. He pays spies to report on Dallas area small business owners who didn't follow the orders handed down from, during the pandemic. Mark is a moron. He doesn't understand the art of the deal. Oh, okay. He's an idiot. He's an a-hole. He's morphing into Rosie O'Donnell. Even their earrings match. He's a communist, not a nice person. Has no problem promoting the use of full force government against you if he disagrees with your politics. He's a nut. Okay. Anyway, that's all I can say about it. Okay, now getting back to what I was going to read. Thriller the Gorilla said JP Morgan funded the building of the Titanic and cancelled his long-awaited journey just hours before its proposed departure. 3 of the wealthiest men on earth who were against the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank happened to be invited aboard for its maiden voyage. Finally, the Federal Reserve Bank was created on December the 23rd, 1913. Not only that, there are people who believe that the Olympia, I think it was put in place of the Titanic because it needed work done to it and they couldn't afford it. Okay, Thriller the Gorilla said Elon Musk sends Don Lemon to kindergarten. Everyone was a slave. Everyone. We are all descendants from slaves. It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it. If we keep talking about it, racism, non-stop, it'll never go away. If we keep making that the central thing, it'll never go away. I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue and just treat people like individuals. Well, that's the best way, really. Joe Biden, Cat Turd said Joe Biden says Trump needs to go to prison today, so feel free to post all the pictures from Hunter's confirmed laptop of his son Hunter smoking crack, measuring felony amounts of crack, and laying naked with girls who look extremely young. Seriously, F these scumbags. And you know what people did? Yep. It's exactly what people did. Yep. Biden when other countries need help and Biden when Americans need help. Raised by Trump, raised by Obama, raised by Biden, and raised by Harris. Oh, dear God. Oh, whoa, okay. Anywho, okay, let's go back. I don't want to see that again. Okay. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with this one, but make of it what you will. Craig Kelly said the absurd, irrelevant nonsense that Australia is a corporation needs to stop. It's a line promoted by controlled opposition trying to divert attention and focus away from the issue that we really need to be fighting, like the mis- and disinformation bill. Arguing this nonsense just makes people look stupid and damages other legitimate points they're making. Please don't get sucked in. The facts are that the Commonwealth of Australia needs to be registered with the United States Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, for the sale of Australian government bonds in the US market. It's a transparency requirement that all foreign governments which sell bonds and other securities in the US markets are required to do. This does not make Australia a corporation. It has absolutely no effect whatsoever on the day-to-day problems we need to tackle. And Australian government agencies have ABNs because they buy and sell goods and services. It doesn't make them corporations. Okay, so there you go. Interesting. You can make of that what you will. And Elon Musk said this is war. Paul D. Thacker said exclusive documents working with Matt Taibbi. We report on CCD hate documents showing the Labor Party's political front's objective is kill Musk's Twitter through advertising focus, meaning harass his advertisers. Internal documents provided by a whistleblower. Wow. Interesting, isn't it? It's just all very interesting that it's all coming out. Okay, and that's all the news for today that I've got. It was a bit rushed this morning, so I probably haven't got the major news of the day, but I've got some stuff there. So I should be back tomorrow. I'm hoping. There's a lot of things going on here. I have a friend who has brain cancer who's contacted me and may need help, so I'm going to do what I can to help this person. We'll see how we go. But I should be back tomorrow for a video and live Saturday. So, okay, guys, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.